Reading preferences are a lot like fingerprints. The books can tell you a lot about the person who lists them in their top 10 recommendations. This month, we get a list with a wide variety of American authors whose work is meant to expand the mind and stretch how we think about the world. I'm your host, Garrett K. Jones, and this month, I've invited Gonzo Fiction author Adam Perry to guest host and provide his top 10 reading recommendations. Hey, welcome back to The Right Way, where we talk book recs, author interviews, and writing tips. Welcome to December. But before we get into this month's guest host and his book recommendations, here's a look at what's happening all month long. First and foremost, today is Top 10's. That's a no-brainer. But next week, we will have our final author awareness interview episode for 2022. The week after that, on December 17th, I will be doing the live stream on Instagram, and for this month's live stream episode, I'll be listing the total number of donations and contributions that I received for No Shave November, as well as identifying which donor made the biggest contribution. I'll also be enacting whatever retribution I've reaped from that large contribution. The week after the live stream is Christmas Eve, which means there won't be any episode, but I will be back for Creators Corner on New Year's Eve. Now, you might be wondering about this classy shirt that I'm wearing right now. This is the official Right Way shirt, which you can pick up alongside the official Right Way mug, so that you can lounge and drink your coffee and write the right way. Now, if you're curious about picking up these items or anything else that catches your fancy on my store, you can go ahead and check out the link down in the video description and get yourself some of that sweet, sweet merchandise. So my December guest host got interviewed back during season 4. In fact, he was my December interview, and I'm excited to have him return this December to provide you with his top 10 book recommendations. His list actually has one of my favorite authors on it. So, take it away, Adam.
Hi, my name is Adam Perry. I'm the author of All Possible Orbits, and this is my top 10 list for Christmas of books that you can get under your Christmas tree that are not this book. Number 10, Jack Kerouac's On the Road. Absolute classic, must have, and you have to have the scroll version, the original version with none of the names changed and his absolute run-on sentences that go on forever. If you have a thing about run-on sentences, you're just gonna have to get over it. Number 10, Kerouac. Number 9, Barry Hannah's Yonder Stands Your Orphan. It's probably the best late years Barry Hannah. Quintessential Southern. Absolutely gonzo to the core. Beautiful. You gotta have it. Number 8, Radio Free Albemuth by Philip K. Dick. Writing as a character named Philip K. Dick. In the time of Trump, this is an absolute necessity. Even though Trump is not currently president, but he's running again, everybody should get a gander of this book to know what's coming. Number 7, Chuck Palahniuk's Invisible Monsters. Even though, like many people, my first introduction to Chuck was the movie of Fight Club. This was the first book that I read. And any book that opens up with somebody blowing their own jaw off with a shotgun, you got to read it at least once. Number 6, Elmore Leonard's Road Dogs. Elmore Leonard, absolute master of crime fiction. But Elmore Leonard also has some of the greatest characters, such as Kundo Ray, who is our pot-bellied little Cuban gangster who makes money on the side by dancing for ladies in his little thong underwear. Gotta check that out. Plus, there's nobody better at deleting adverbs than Elmore Leonard. No LYs to be found. Number 5, Salem's Lot by Stephen King. Stephen King, you know, everybody's got to have a Stephen King book in this list, but this is my pick. Even though there's tons of them and I love a lot of Stephen King books, this has a special place because it was one of the first scary things I remember seeing on my father's movie channel when I was a kid, was watching the original 70s Salem's Lot. And the vampire in there just scared the absolute hell out of me. And this book, I don't know for certain, but I think it marks the first American novel where a vampire is front and center that's not Dracula. I could be wrong, I don't know. I think I'm not, but maybe I am. Great book anyway. Number 4, Blood Meridian from Cormac McCarthy. Another undisputed king of the downward spiral. I liken this book to movies like The Hustler or The Deer Hunter, which are just, there's no getting out alive. Everybody is in peril, everybody's going down, and you're all going down in flames. If you like that sort of thing, Cormac's your guy. Number 3, William S. Burroughs, Junkie. For any of you out there during the holiday season who are feeling a mite bit depressed and are thinking about dabbling with a new heroin addiction, I suggest you take a look at this first. If you want an unglamorized, horrible picture of what it is to be a day-to-day junkie, Bill Burroughs will show it to you with all the warts that you could possibly ever need to dissuade you from being a heroin junkie. Check out Bill. Number 2, The Great Shark Hunt, Hunter Stockton Thompson, the Duke of Gonzo, the King of the Silly. This was the second book that I ever read of Hunter's, and absolutely is 90% responsible for the reason that I chose to be a writer. This is a collection of things all the way from the beginnings up until 1977, some of his greatest pieces of work, all embodied in this. And as you can see by the tattered cover, she and I have been together for a long time. Read cover to cover countless times. It's my go-to. Check it out. And number 1, with a bullet, Flashman by George MacDonald Fraser. Quite possibly the greatest anti-hero ever put to paper. Flashman is a 19th century British war hero who the entirety of the British Empire considers to be the cream of the British Royal Military Cup, except for the fact that it's all lies. And Flashman, in his old years, has decided to set it all straight by setting the Flashman manuscripts and putting every terrible deed he's ever done where it should be, right here. So if you want to see the worst anti-hero, the most cowardly, horrible human being ever laid down on paper, Harry Flashman is your guy. Merry Christmas.
If you're interested in connecting with Adam through social media or getting a hold of copies of his work, you can find those links down in the video description. Hey, thanks for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications on new videos. You can support the channel on Patreon and the merch store. Those links can be found in the video description. Make sure to tune in next week for the December Author Awareness segment, featuring an interview with author Amina Jamali. See you then.